lot of takeaways to be had from OKC's 127-113 win over the Magic last night. SGA, still really good. Jalen Williams, also really good. Chet Holmgren blocked seemingly every shot the Magic took. But my biggest takeaway from that game is that, can we just have more of those matchups on national television? I thought it was so refreshing to see the Thunder and Magic on TNT, because those teams don't usually get on national television. OKC has been getting it more and more, and I think they're going to be a fixture on national television for a while, just like they were during the Durant and Westbrook years. But it's been a slow development to get there, and this was Orlando's first national TV game in a decade. Paolo Banchero, the #1 pick in the 2022 NBA draft, had not been on national television until now. I'm a massive advocate of more of these matchups for national television. I think if the NBA wants to continue to grow the game and get more fans, I think it's in their best interest to show more fans why they should watch more teams. And the way to do that is to put those teams on national television, which is essentially saying, hey, this team is really fun to watch. They matter. Maybe not in a way that like a Celtics or a Nuggets matter, because those teams are competing for a championship, but hey, let's showcase the great stuff about this team. So in Orlando's case, it's, hey, they have a recent #1 overall pick who's already an all-star in his second season. This guy is worth watching. This team is worth watching. And you hope that that excitement and that enthusiasm that you create by putting them on a TNT or an ESPN carries over, when those teams go back to their local stations. I think it's just such a no-brainer way for the NBA to leave no stone unturned in their pursuit of just like more fans, more viewers, everything like that. And for whatever it's worth, it's also a really refreshing change of pace, considering how it feels like we have like the same however many matchups on national television. Like we're gonna get Sixers Bucks 4 times. We're gonna get Celtics Sixers, Celtics Bucks. Those 3 teams are gonna play 4 times each on national television. Lakers Nuggets, Lakers Suns. And obviously it's not that I don't like watching those teams play, but like at a certain point it doesn't get, I don't know if it gets stale, but again, like it's refreshing to see, a different matchup, one that most people don't usually get to see on national television, and I think that's really worth something as well. Now, obviously it was unfortunate that Orlando couldn't make this more of a competitive game, and I'm not oblivious as to why the NBA decides to go with, only a handful of teams to get a majority of the national television spotlight, because everyone's going to want to watch LeBron versus Steph 4 times. But one of the big criticisms a lot of people have about the NBA and the way it's covered or the way it's marketed is that, a lot of people believe that the league only cares about a handful of teams, like the Lakers, like the Celtics, like the Warriors. And so if the league is giving off the impression that those are the only teams that they care about, why would fans not follow suit? I'm not saying that every team needs a roughly equal amount of national TV games, but just sprinkle in a few of these unique matchups just to keep it fresh, keep it exciting. Or one idea I had before the start of the season is the NBA does rivalry week, right? That was a couple weeks ago, where it's some of the best rivalries all week long. Why don't they do a Rising Stars week where, all the national TV games are matchups of teams that don't usually get the spotlight? It's the young up-and-coming teams like an Orlando, like a Houston. I think the NBA is missing such a massive opportunity to get more fans invested in more teams, which could only be good for the game. And my hope is that they change their philosophy to give, again, it's not about, making every team have roughly the same amount of national TV games. I get why most casual fans would want to see the Lakers and Warriors more than the Spurs or whoever. But there's a benefit to throwing these teams a national TV bone every once in a while. And I hope Adam Silver and the rest of the NBA can recognize that and work to implement it somehow. Because again, even regardless of the result, it wasn't the most, exciting down to the wire game between OKC and Orlando. But like, again, I can't express enough how refreshing it was to see this matchup on national TV when we don't usually get the opportunity to do so.